Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting the breaking news from Iran as the death toll has crossed 100. So, we are going to also look at what Donald Trump has said in his video that he might probably be taking military action pretty soon than we think. But we'll have to go and discuss everything. So, watch the full analysis. And right now on the screen, we are having this title saying Iranian protests rage as deaths amount, and Trump renews warning of possible US intervention. So, we will discuss if that will be easy or peasy because millions of people are on the streets, civilians. Okay, so it's not like your jets can come and just bomb because the normal people are on the streets. Okay, so it has to be pre-planned, and I guess Israel will be in the picture too. So Israel plus USA will be doing this operation when and if it's needed, but we have to avoid those millions of people who are on the streets already. Okay, and we'll discuss all that. And also at the same time, we have to talk about one very important thing, which is people or everybody's calling this protest. All media around the globe calling it protest. I have to correct them. I have to correct everybody. And even if you think these are protests, I have to correct you as well because these are not protests. This is a civil war. Okay, we are going to discuss all these facts in this video. This is not protest. Protest is something which you have against something. You don't like some policy, you don't like the facilities or services being offered to you by the government or whatever. Okay, that could be a protest against something particular. But when people come on the streets in millions and they do violence or they want to get you out of the country, that's called civil war and regime change in polite words. So, this is a civil war going on between two communities, or rather, you could say civil war between right and wrong, civil war between freedom and, this jail restriction. We all know this Iran was taken by Islamic jihadis in 1970 or 80s, okay, 46 years before today. So there was there is still Islamic regime in Iran, so called. But the real name of Iran is obviously Persia. Okay, so the ethnicity in Iran is Persian, not Iranian. Okay, so this is what happens. They take over the different countries. Islamic, I mean, the Islamic Muslim people, they take over different countries, and then they make it Islamic. The soon it will happen with UK, United Kingdom too. So we will discuss UK as well, maybe in this video, or maybe the Europe as well, just to give you some hints. Okay, but let's go and get done with the story, then I'll give my opinion. So it says protest in Iran continued in the Islamic Republic, online videos purported to show. Anyway, so what we need to read here is Saturday that at least 116 people have been killed in the protest which began in Tehran in late December. Okay, so they are claiming more than 116 people are dead, right? And the protesters appear to be taking encouragement. So again, all the media is using the wrong terminology. It's not protest, man. Enough of your nonsense. Okay, say the thing which is actually true. It's not protest, it's violent civil war, and it's a legitimate civil war. Okay, so because this word civil war might not fascinate you or say, oh, it's a bad thing. Well, it's a bad thing if you do this for money. For example, somebody, some third country, let's take an example. America paid Bangladesh, and then the regime change happened in Bangladesh, then regime change happened in Sri Lanka, regime change happened in Nepal. Okay, so if some other country is motivating you or paying you the money to do the civil war, that's bad. But what is happening in Iran or Iran, that's a natural civil war because people want to get rid of their Islamic regime, okay, which was forced on them 46 years ago, to be very precise. Okay, same thing will happen to UK. Will happen to means you will be forced under Islamic law pretty soon in UK, and I mean, unofficially you are Islamic anyway. Okay, countries such as United Kingdom and France, Germany, India. These are unofficial Islamic countries. There's too much Islam in those countries already. It's just that it has to become official, okay? And even if it doesn't become official, all the laws, all the rules and the policies are made only for Muslims and only for Islamic people in those countries. naming them those countries again. Most countries in Europe and UK and India, these are unofficial Islamic countries, and soon in next 1 decade, 2 decade, you will see the collapse of communities there, and Islam will take control of that. And then maybe after 50 years, 100 years, maybe there will be civil war. Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that you cannot fix something through government, through policies. Only regime change can happen when you come on the streets and let let the other person know your power. Okay, just like what is happening in Iran. If Iranian people think that, oh, we will go and make some laws or policies, or we will protest, no, they will never leave. You will be under Islamic law until and unless you don't show the fight and you don't take over them, or you have to answer them the language which they understand, which is barbarism. Okay, which is cruelty. So Islam is all about barbarism, cruelty, and kill, slaughter, behead, and make women slave, this and that. You know how it works, right? It's not hidden anymore. So countries like UK, for example, UK is a very hot example that UK has become Islamic. It's unofficial, not on the papers yet, but we all know UK is done dusted. Okay, we know how Islamic gangs rape your minor girls in the UK, and all the stuff. So it's already on the internet, right? So we know how things work, and what I'm trying to make you understand is that you can't rely on your politicians, your military, your police, your admin system. Nobody's gonna fix your country. They are there doing a job in return for money. They are not there to fix the society, to fix the country. No, a policeman is doing the job because he's getting the salary. Politicians are there because they want to make money. Military is there because they want to save the country for external attacks, or also getting salary. Nobody cares about your culture. Okay, people who care about the values of the nation, the culture, they will die for the country for free. But people who are taking the salary, you don't expect them. For example, let me tell you an example here of police. Okay, in my country, the police comes after the murder, and it's true for every other country. Okay, so the job of the police is not to save your life. The job of the police is to collect your dead body and do the post-mortem. Are you getting the point here? So don't expect that somebody else will fix your country, somebody else will, create some law. It doesn't really matter. There's no freaking democracy. It's all about, the numbers. If you are more in numbers, you can come on the streets, show your power as numbers. If they have more numbers, they will win. And, the politicians bow in front of those people who are united. Okay, if you're not united, you will lose. Anyway, so what we have, so you have seen the death toll, and these are the images you can see. So when when the protests, so-called protests, or I will call this a civil war. Now we have entered the 13th day in this Iranian civil war. Okay, and this is not something to be shameful about. If you're watching me from Iran or Iran, you should be proud of what you have just did after 46 years. Okay, this should have happened 40 years before already. When they took over your country, it should have happened back then. But 46 years is a long time for slavery, and yeah, I mean, we can just feel bad about it. That's it. Coming back to social media reactions, let's see what Trump has said. So Trump said, "You better not start shooting because we'll start shooting too." Trump has issued a warning that the US could intervene as Iranian authorities crack down on protesters. I told you already that we have to look into the people on the streets. Okay, because it's not that easy that you just fly some jets and you bomb some places. No, because people are on the streets now. Okay, millions of people are out there on the streets. So it has to be a covert operation. It has to be, maybe Mossad has to come on the ground, maybe some CIA intelligence has to come on the ground and then eliminate people physically on the ground, just like they took down Maduro. It has to be a ground operation, because you have to identify where these regime people are hidden, because most of the places are government buildings, and everything in Iran is empty now. The civilians have taken control of those things. So you have to find the leaders of Iran and eliminate them, or terminate them, or execute them, whatever you want to do with them. Okay, so that's it. And yeah, so I think that's all President Trump needed to hear. It's time to send the military to stop this demon. So I think you know You have to think about maybe Israel involvement as well, because you may want to involve Israel intelligence, Mossad, because they are nearby. And we'll see, the time will tell. But right now, the civilians in Iran are fighting their own war, and that's how it has to be done, okay? Once upon a time in World War II, the leader of my country said, one leader of my country said that back then, in 1942, I'm talking about. So he said to his people that, give me your blood and I'll give you freedom. Okay, so the cost of freedom is always blood, okay? And plus, on top of that, nobody else is going to come to fight your own war, okay? So Iranian people, they had to come on the streets without depending on somebody else. And if you are already on the 13th day now, you can't go back. You have to take your country back. And one more suggestion I will give to Iranian people in this video, because I've been seeing that crown prince of Iran, who is not in Iran for a number of decades now, he's trying to give message to the public, do this, do that, I'm with you, and everything else. Okay, see, all good, okay? You need a leader, you need somebody to back you up, you need some motivational figure, okay? I understand all of that, okay? I don't know how system worked in Persia when the kings were there and when the crown prince was there or not, okay? I don't know that. I don't know the chemistry between king and the what do you call this, civilian, back then. But I would say one thing, this is my personal opinion, you don't have to agree or disagree here. I would say one thing, that when Islamic regime invaded Iran back in those days, then crown prince and their family left Iran, and then they lived their whole luxury life, wherever they are. They are in Qatar or some other UK, I don't know, okay? Wherever they are still not in Iran. That's my point, okay? So when Islamic regime took over, this thing called Persia, then these kings and crown princes, they were made to flee, or they were forced to flee, whatever the reason is, but they are not in Iran, right? Because if they were in Iran, they will be hand to death. I get it, right? I get it that you will be a political prisoner or you will be sentenced to death. I get it. Regime change means you have to die. I understand. And then you left. You left, and then that's it, right? But you still continued living your princely, kingly life, okay? Now my question is, now you see civilians are doing civil war, and then now you are getting involved, and you're saying that, okay, you go and fight and I'm with you, and then when the regime change will happen, then the king will come back and will take over the government. I mean, hold on here. I mean, see, again, I'm telling you, I don't have any, I don't know the chemistry between how Persian citizens have their relationship with the kings and crown prince. I don't know that. How don't know how these things work. But in today's time, okay, in today's time, what I can see is that it's not the crown prince or his army or his family is fighting on the streets. It's not the crown prince's, what do you call, brother, sister dying. Understand what I'm saying here? I'm not against any crown prince, or I'm not against any king. I am against actually democracy. Democracy is the biggest lie, which I will cover in some other video, okay? But in this video, I'm talking about people who are dying in this civil war right now in Iran. They are Iranian citizens who had lived their life in Iran, and they did not leave, and they fought, and they are dead now. So why would when the civil war ends and the regime change happens, then all of a sudden the crown prince will come back after 40, 50 years and will take over the country? How and why? In my opinion, I think people who are in the on the streets right now inside Iran fighting this war, some of them will be the leaders, will be leading this movement. Okay, I believe that people who are actually fighting on the streets, one of those people have to be they will have to come in the power. That's my opinion, okay? I don't want some king to come back after 40 years and just take over the government and start living a princely life or kingly life once again. I don't believe in that. You know, either you should never have left Iran. You should never have left Iran, and then you should have fought. You should have fought guerrilla wars, and then yes, you deserve it. But now public is fighting. Public is fighting, okay? Public is fighting, and you are just doing video calls and video messages, and then say, yeah, you say go fight, fight, fight. And once the fight is over, you will come back and resume the power. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is that there will be millions of people on the streets in Iran. Out of those, you need those brave people who led this movement, and let those normal citizens be elected through democracy if you believe in that. Okay, for example, I think who should be in power once this Iranian thing is over? Somebody from public, not just somebody, some prior crown prince is giving messages on video calls, so he will come back after after the fight is over, he will come back and start running the country. I don't think that's fair enough. What is fair enough is people who are actually fighting on the streets after everything is over, those people should be nominated in elections, and then the public will decide out of those people whom to vote and whom to elect. I don't believe in this that okay, I'm your crown prince, I went out of the country, and after 45 years I'm coming back, so choose me again. I mean, again, I don't know the chemistry between the public and the Iranian kings and princes, but I don't like it. If I would be personally in the situation, I would choose a person who has fought the war on the ground, a common citizen, and then I will vote for him. Anyways, I'm not from Iran, by the way. So, the other side, so you can see these massive protests happening, and you will get a lot of news on social medias and that. But this is what the analysis, you could get the news everywhere, on internet, YouTube, TV, news channel. You can get news everywhere, but you don't get the analysis. People have individual opinions, just like I have my own individual opinion, and you could agree or disagree with it. The point being is, see the things in the way which others, are not able to explain. I told you this is a classic example that these things are not called. I'm just doing the recap now. Okay, so protests. No, these are not the protests. This is a civil war going on, serious civil war, and those people who are in Europe, you need to wake up, otherwise you'll be fucked up. Okay, countries like UK, Germany, France, they are unofficial Islamic countries already in the Europe. And one example in the East is India. India is an unofficial Islamic country, okay? And everybody is paying the price. Everybody's paying the price. Your girls are being raped, and the crime has gone up, and it looks like a third world country. We know all that, okay? So when if you're still thinking that your government will fix immigration or something, no, there's no government will fix anything. You will have to come on the streets, take over the parliament, take over the country. That's the only way to get the problems fixed, okay? Only citizens have the power. If you rely on your police or your military or your politicians, nothing will happen, and you will die pretty soon, okay? So if you're alive, then show you're alive, okay? Otherwise, it will take 46 years, just like it took in Iran. And you had been watching Cosmic Reporter. I'll shut down this video now. So thank you for watching Cosmic Reporter. Subscribe, like, and share.